Hey everybody, it's Kyle here. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about my mobility journey, and that is the journey from wheelchair to crutches. And I want to talk about it now because I just ordered a brand new pair of crutches. They're called the M&D crutches. They're completely different than the crutches that I have now. And so that will be part two, and that will be me showing you me using them and just talking about them. And I want to give about a week of use before I make a video, and they're coming tomorrow, and I'm super excited. So, uh, for now, part one is, well, as you may or may not know, I've talked about it before. At one point, I was so weak that I could not walk on my own. My choices of getting around were crawling, which was actually pretty fun for me. Being carried, also pretty fun for me. Or the wheelchair. And that could be fun for me, but there were good days and bad days with that. Um, Crawling around was my favorite because it was kind of a sense of freedom for me. You know, no one had to help push me or carry me. Like, it was just me getting to where I wanted to go on my own. And I would crawl really fast because it's kind of like a speed crawler. Like, I just had to be really good at it, if that makes sense. Um, didn't always work when I wanted to finger paint. And I distinctly remember a big white piece of paper, me finger painting in the kitchen, and getting tired of that and wanting to go see what everyone else was doing and crawling to get there, and a trail of handprints. So, mom wasn't too happy about that, but crawling was nice because I didn't have to rely on anyone else. And being carried is always fun, but you know, you grow too big for that after a while, and then nobody wants to do that for you. I'm sorry. Um, I guess I could still get piggyback rides now, but not as cute when you're 25. Um, and the wheelchair, I liked it to a certain degree, you know, because I did like some of the attention that was put on me, you know, when kids or especially at school would want to push me around, you know, to help me, or just, you know, it's nice to feel special, but that has a double-edged sword because sometimes I really hated the extra attention. I just wanted to not have the attention on me. And with a wheelchair, I know it's visible and people are gonna notice. And those were the days that would, I would cry at night, wondering why I had to have cerebral palsy. And then, through a lot of hard work, we got through that. But then after the wheelchair and after hamstring surgery and some Botox shots in the legs, I was able to transfer to a walker. I went through one wheelchair. I'm pretty sure it's still in our basement. And I went through two walkers. And I know one of them was red because that's also still in the basement. But it was definitely the walker definitely made me, at least as a kid, feel like a racer, and I could kind of swing around on it. So that was the fun part. And even after I transitioned into arm crutches, definitely I still played on my walker. I would probably break it now because it's really short. Granted, because I was like 5, 6 years old. Even, after I didn't need the wheelchair anymore in arm crutches, I would still play in it if I could still fit. Now, there's no way I could still fit. But it's funny how those things, after I didn't need them, became fun to me when they're tools. They were tools of mobility, and at one point, like, I didn't like using them, and then after I didn't need them, then they became fun for me. But they were necessary tools. After a lot of physical therapy, I and another surgery, I transitioned into arm crutches, and I've had a good 5 or 6, maybe even 7 pairs. I don't know. I used to be extremely rough on my crutches. I would throw them around. I didn't care. And that was kind of silly of me, because they were completely necessary. And when they did break, because they did fall, sometimes in school, sometimes not, um, I was kind of screwed because, like, how do I get around? And that was when I was with 2 crutches in high school. I started to do 1 crutch freshman year. I started to do 1 crutch, I believe. Um, I don't think it was in grade school. I could be wrong because could have been 8th grade, but I know by 9th grade I was definitely into just 1 crutch, and that was going to school every day with 1 crutch. And that was nice because with 2 crutches, it's hard to carry anything. They get in your way. Yes, they're necessary, but they can be a pain. Um, Finding a place to put um, them falling over and tripping people, putting them at your desk. Crutches can be very annoying if you don't have the right place to put them. So 1 crutch meant 1 less crutch to worry about. So that was nice, and I should backtrack. At one point, I've talked about this before, but at one point I was on the verge of using no crutches, and then I had to have that second surgery I mentioned, and that kind of threw a wrench in the plans. And then going down to 1 crutch again made me feel really good about myself because, I was like, well, now I just got to get rid of this other one. Like, I'm so close. Like, I will get there. Um, that still hasn't happened. And really, that's because I'm getting older. Like, I'm 25. That doesn't seem old at all. I'm mid-20s, but what I've really begun to notice in the last 2, 3 years is my body is definitely a lot different than even when I was 18. I don't bounce back as quickly. There is more pain, more stiff, And part of that was because I wasn't keeping up with a regular physical therapy routine, which is why kind of leads me into my exercise videos that I've made. And I'm, believe me, I'm still continuing to do them because I'm noticing a lot of internal progress and just things are feeling a little bit easier. And please, so if I could give anyone any advice for mobility, please do your exercises. It helps loosen your muscles so you're not as tight, so you're not as in much pain. It's easier to move, larger range of motion. It has been doing wonders for me. My knee hasn't done well. It still hurts every now and then, but not nearly like it was. So if you're having knee pain, try stretching, try doing your exercises if you haven't done them in a long time like me. If you are doing that and it's not getting any better, definitely go see a surgeon. I probably still should. An orthopedic, still looking for one. Woo! Sorry. But my mobility has definitely changed in the last couple of years. Going with 1 crutch was extremely easy. I could do it, short distance, long distance. And now I will only do it for short distances, but generally speaking, a good at least 80% of the time, I'm back to using both crutches. Just because I've definitely become more conscious of how hard my movement is on my body and just trying to ease the pain. And I don't want to say that it's chronic pain, but there are days where I hurt and I'm stiff and tight and days that I'm fine. So it's very up and down. So I just kind of go the safe route and use both crutches the majority of the time. It helps my knee. It's just better. Balance is good. Um, But one thing that I have noticed is with the arm crutch use, especially now that I'm using both of them, is my shoulders are starting to bother me, which is why when I was just happening to Google disability products and I found the M&D crutch, mobility design crutch, and it said that it was good for shoulders, I thought I should give it a try. Granted, they're pretty expensive, a couple $100s, but they do seem very thoroughly designed for people with crutches. Like they've got hinges so you don't have to undo your crutches, so you can reach. They've got the handles like pivot away so you can go a little more hands free. They've got, I saw on the video that they have like rubber on the back so they don't slide when you rest them up against things. And believe me, that is a real issue. So I'm excited to get them tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if they're going to be I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like them, but at this point in my mobility journey, when I saw them, it seemed like they could help solve a problem that I'm having, and that is shoulder pain with my forearm crutches. So hopefully that is the case. If not, then we'll just have to address it as we go. But that is, before I go, that is one thing I've learned with dealing with mobility. Like, it was my like absolute goal to walk with no arm crutches, like without a doubt. Like that's what I wanted, and I still would like that, if possible. But I have to be, as I'm getting older, more realistic about what my body can handle. And if I do get there, then I get there, and like you'll hear about it. And if I don't, I, I have to do what's better for my body. Um, so part two will be the next video of me showing you how I've been doing with, well, they're coming tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday, obviously. I know you know that. But so by the time, I'm going to give it about a week, so I'll film another video, around Thursday, Friday, with an update on how the new crutches are going. So stay tuned for part two, and be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the notifications to that video. And I will see you next time.